more noise yesterday afternoon because John, my next door neighbour, is doing his lawn, and he did mine as well, which is nice of him to do that. Woke up this morning, felt particularly uncomfortable. I actually had to have the doona off, even though I had the fan going. It was that warm in the room, and I'm thinking, gee, is it the medication that's making me feel crook? But then I looked up online the weather forecast, and it said it was 24 degrees, which is, you know, that's moderate, that's not too bad. But the humidity level was 97%. 97, I'll repeat that. Yeah, that's damn oppressive. And I felt it. It's probably reducing now as the sun comes out, but yeah, it was. I don't even know how that scale works. I mean, yeah, if it's 100%, I guess you're in water, aren't you? But I guess that's obviously not the case. It's a different type of scale, but certainly it was very uncomfortable, and it wasn't because of all the medications that I've had in my body. So there you go. Oh shit! I didn't take my medication today. Oh, that's okay. I'll do it when I get back. That's unbelievable. I don't. Okay. Well, it doesn't matter that much. I'll do it when I return. But I've never missed that before. Wow, I'm losing it. Well, I told you it was humid, and because I'm in a routine. When I wake up in the morning, I always take the pills and what have you. But I forgot today. So that is very unusual, but like I say, I'll get it done when I get home. God, that's the first time I've done that, because they are fairly important medications. Geez, what a slack ass. Yeah, well, I better not go back now. I'll miss the bus, and I've got to get for my medical appointment. So I did do that once in the past, years ago, when I saw an eye specialist. I fronted up and I forgot to take the drops before I turned up, and boy was he pissed off. He was not happy, because he wanted to do a reading and he just couldn't get a valid reading under those circumstances. So, wow. Oh, well, that's very unusual for me to do that. But I've had a lot of things on my mind with the trip, I guess. It's just whether I'm going to even go on it, because my walking's still pretty hard to just put on underwear or shoes. I just can't bend that easily. So I think I'm slightly better than yesterday, but it's hardly ideal. So like I say, I've got a lot of things on my mind, and I guess that's why I skipped the routine. The whole point of having a routine is you don't forget these things, because it's ingrained in you. But for some reason today, wow. Well, I'll probably be back around midday, because I'll be seeing the quack about 10:30, and I'll get all my other stuff. Yeah, won't be too much past midday, so it's not a huge thing, but just strange I did that. But I'll have to get some anti-inflammatories off her, I think, for the back. And I've got a little about 24 hours to cancel my first booking, hotel booking, if I decide to pull the plug on the trip. So I'm sort of line ball at the moment, because you just don't know which way it's going to go. Is it going to improve, or is it going to get worse? If it gets worse, well, it's insane travelling, because it's just going to be miserable. And who's to say I'm going to get over it straight away? I'd rather it happen before I leave, though, mind you. It'd be worse if it happened while I was OS. Whew, gee, it is hot. Yeah, very nippy inside the bus. A lot more pleasant out here. Very early today, so got stacks of time to burn. Hope the dockers isn't too late. God, a lot of noise. Office work's got my printing done. That went okay, and now I've got to go to Chemist Warehouse and get some dressings and stuff and see how we go there. And then I've got a couple more things to do after that and can finally return home. So could be worse, I guess. It's not raining, overcast, perfect weather really, and bit of a struggle walking around, but soon I'll get all this stuff done, and that'll be it. And I'll squeeze in a walk either from the bus stop, which I might get the 110 bus, I'll get a walk that way, or I might just walk down to the beach again late afternoon. We'll see how it goes, but I'll definitely get a walk in. It's not an easy walking, it's a bit of a strain, but if it does help the back, well, we'll don't go for it. So yeah, actually when I saw the doctor, she didn't want to actually prescribe anything for me, saying, oh, you should always deal with your local doctor because they know your history and stuff. Well, it's a bit of a cop-out. She's not the person I normally see. So yeah, but you know, I wish, well, I'll just keep that for future reference. I won't trust them. I'll just basically try to get everything sorted out with the local GP. Is a lot better than Smithfield. I mean, the Coles of Smithfield is better than the Woolworths in Smithfield, but it's all relative. They've definitely put more money and effort into the presentation here than they do at Smithfield. It's a backwater. A little after midday, so made reasonably good time, 12:15. So I'm back home. I got the bus driver dropped me off at the unofficial stop, so that was good. My back is not good, and I wish to Christ I'd seen a more proactive doctor, because I think maybe this doctor wasn't so much into administering drugs, and that's what I think I need right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the magnesium tablet. I'll try one of them and some painkillers, because my back did not appreciate that long bus journey from Cairns Central all the way here. It's over an hour journey, and it's a bit of a shaker. Anyway, I'm looking forward to my coffee. I'm going to have that muscle relax, and I'll finally get my eye drops that for some inexplicable reason I didn't take this morning. And my odds of going overseas are still 50-50 in my opinion. I don't like my chances. I shouldn't be travelling if I'm feeling this bad. This is not a smart move. May have to cut my losses, but we'll see. We'll give it till tomorrow morning, and that'll be the final assessment. Then I might have to ditch the accommodation overseas, and maybe try to get a credit on the Jetstar flights if things haven't improved with my walking. So I will do some walking to Savo, and hopefully that'll help, with also some pain relievers and the magnesium tablet to relax the muscles a bit. Hopefully that'll work. Squeeze some more value out of my daily bus ticket. Get myself a little bit more walking done too. The painkillers seem to have helped, so I'll see what they've got at the chemists. And what I'm going to do now is just catch the bus up to the local shops, and I just need to get the wipes to clear the wounds and a couple of other things, and that should be fine. Oh god, I've got to do that too. I haven't got much stuff to actually put in the bin today, but I forgot about that. That's my duty today too, to get to fill up the bin with any fronds. There's not much around, but it just reminded me, because they're collecting tomorrow morning. So, but I want to get myself a bottle of gin, and I want to get some painkillers. I've seen they're having an effect, definitely making it more comfortable for me. And the only thing I'm really waiting on at the moment is the Vietnam visa. That hasn't come through yet, and I really need that, because if that isn't emailed to me today or tomorrow at the very latest, that could give me good cause to pull the plug, because they said 3 working days. It was Friday, I think, I put the application in, not sure. In the past, it's been within 24 hours. I think there's a lot of people going to Vietnam at the moment for tourism, so it could be a bit of demand. So I don't really want to pull the plug on the trip if I've got any chance of making it, if it's not going to be a total imposition for me physically. So, and I always go peculiar before trips these days. I always have reservations until I actually get on the damn plane. Then I'm generally fine. It's all the pre-trip stuff that freaks me out. And it's just been a bit more complicated. I did get a fairly clean bill of health today, so that's the good news, I guess. As clean as any bill of health for me is these days. But no, it could have been worse. It was okay. So there's nothing that's really stopping me apart from the discomfort of having a crook back at this stage. So, and of course, if I'm deciding I'm going to be okay, I'll organise my travel insurance as well. I want to have that done too. Okay. Yeah, it's not too bad. There's no sun, so that's good. It's been very muggy today, so I'm not sure when the bus is going to arrive. It's supposed to be at the terminus at 3:52, and I left my house at 3:35. So you just never know. It might be early. So actually, it'll say here when they expect it. 3:47. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Well, if it's on that timetable, it'll be fine. The guy will think I'm crazy hailing the bus for such a short trip, but I've got the daily ticket stuff that I'm entitled to. And I might walk back to see how it goes. I got some pain reliever stuff. And I'm walking home, which hopefully will help the back as well. So I'm doing everything I can to do the right thing. Rather than taking the bus back, I'll walk it. And yeah, I found out that the bloody doctor we saw this morning, she wrote out a prescription, a half-assed one for the sedatives. Like there's only 10 pills. Normally it'd be about, I think it's normally 25. Yeah, the thing is, if you're going to do that, make it clear to the patient that's what you're doing. Some of these people don't have great communication skills. The one I normally see, who's on holidays, she's good. She's a much better communicator. Just unlucky that I happened to get this one today. Should have just gone to the local GP, would have been better. You live and learn. Certainly nice in the pharmacy compared to out here. It's quite cool with that aircon. I've still got the duties to do today with my fronds. Collect all the refuse, put in the bin, ready for collection tomorrow, and then throw out the spinach, the packs of spinach and what have you. They go off so quickly up here. Apparently Yvonne she's using a technique I read about where you put a piece of paper in, 2 pieces of paper in with the actual, with the spinach or mixed salad, whatever you bought, and apparently it does prolong it even without putting it in the freezer. You can just keep it in the fridge and it just won't go mushy that quickly. So I should try that, because I'm forever throwing out portions of that stuff, and it's not super cheap. I mean, they cost around $3 each, so it adds up after a while. So yeah, no, she mentioned that on when I popped round there on Saturday, that she does use that technique and it's working. So yeah, I hate wasting food, so it's a good idea to do that. Now, it doesn't feel as hard to walk as it did, and they've given me these pain pills which you take 2 initially with food, and then after that it's every 8 hours, so that's not too bad. Just take 1 pill every 8 hours, so that sounds reasonable, and hopefully I'll be feeling a bit better tomorrow. Well, it's Tuesday, heading off on another therapeutic walk to the local beach. Still fairly stiff in the back. I have a persistent sort of strain in the left-hand side lower back, but at least I'm taking anti-inflammatory drugs now. I took 2 yesterday to start off after I got back home, and I've taken 1 this morning and 1 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's about to have an 8-hour break. Definitely better than I was, but not great. And I got a lift to Smithfield with Yvonne, which is very nice of her, so I could get some cash out from the ATM. And I don't like using my card when I'm overseas, putting in ATM machines, because once in Malaysia I did that and the bloody thing ate it. It ate my credit card, so that was not good. So that's one reason. The second reason is that you definitely, it's more cost effective to change cash if you pick a good money exchanger, and I know an excellent one in Saigon, and I will get much better value by exchanging cash. So those are the reasons I do it that way. There is the downside that you could get robbed, I guess. Of course, that is an issue. You could, or you just lose your money, I suppose. But I'm prepared to take that risk. I've never had any hassles with it since I've been using money belts, and seem to be much safer when it comes to that. Already passed by my first dog walker on this trip down to the beach. Didn't take long. Yeah, so it was very nice of them, my neighbours, to run me down to Smithfield, because I need to get, I want to get a few grand together before I leave, just as a buffer. I'll also have some local currency. I've got plenty of Vietnamese dong, half as much as what I need to pay for my 1 month accommodation, so that's not a bad slab. And I did get a better rate then. Although the Aussie dollar has crept up from 67 US cents to 68 today, so it's slightly better value, and but it's still below 16,000 dong, and I'm not sure how it's rating against the Indonesian rupee, but it was one stage you'll get more than 10,000 to $1, I think it was. I might be right. Yeah, I think that's right. 10,000 to $1. So yeah, but it's below that now, I think. Still very good value. My accommodation overall is costing me, I think, in both places around $30 Oz a night. So I mean, that's damn cheap. It's it's a third of what you pay in Australia for equivalent type of accommodation. So you can't complain. You do get good value there, and the food is cheap. And when it comes to number 5 bar, the grog's incredibly cheap. Of course, you do have the temptation of buying ladies' drinks, and it's all part of the deal, and that's fine. Don't complain about that. But it's the only place I can have real top quality Vietnamese nosh. I mean, I've had a meal here, which was just okay, but not terrific. It was far beau, but it just didn't have. It wasn't the same. Just wasn't the same. It was a pale imitation, I guess is probably the best way of putting it. Yeah, I'm pretty finicky about my far bows, which is the beef soup over there. And I've also got to have all the extras, and that means lots of different greens that you break up in your hands, and you add it to the mix in the bowl where the pork is cooking. The thin slices are cooking in the hot broth. But I also like to add lots of greens, very healthy and very tasty, I might add. And I've also got to put in the hyacinth sauce, which is that brownish sauce, as well as chili sauce. And it makes for a pretty amazing meal in the morning. Well, I'll tell you what, it's so much that it really keeps me going for the whole day. I mean, it's about $4, and I seriously don't need much food after that, if any. So, yeah, I love it. I mean, it does keep me confined to quarters for a few hours, though. I've got to say, the chili sauce does have that effect and goes through the system for me anyway. Obviously, it's for the local Vietnamese. I can handle that. I do the same with banh mi's. I have the hot chili sauce with them as well. I have a similar sort of reaction. But I enjoy it. Then again, if you've got time, if you're not on a tight schedule, you can afford to do that, I guess. But if you're on the go, I would recommend not to do that, because it could stuff up your schedule totally. Anyway, as I'm hobbling towards the beach, it seems as though it's a pretty crazy thing to do, because I'm not 100%. But I've still got 2 days to go before I have to commit. Well, it's probably the first commitment's tonight, where I'll pay for the accommodation in Bali. Also had an insane phone call from ANZ Bank about increasing my credit limit on my credit card. They wanted to have documentation on my pension, which is pretty bizarre considering it's actually paid in to the ANZ account. So they've got a record going back years of me receiving that pension. They know exactly how much it is and what frequency it is. So God knows why they want documentation. I just said at that stage, forget it. I couldn't be bothered. I only asked for an increase from about a 2,000 limit to 5,000, and it was simply so I could shuffle money around a bit and not have to stress out about breaking the limit, because 2,000 limit's so easy to break. So it just means I'm going to have to deposit money into the credit card account on the go, so I can keep that 2,000 available as a credit amount. Now, it's just insane, because in the past I've had I had a platinum credit card, and it was over 30,000, 35, maybe even more, like 40 credit limit. They just granted it to me. I didn't even have to ask for it. Nowadays you have to grovel to get virtually nothing. So the whole situation's changed quite a bit, and I'm in a much better position asset-wise than I was in the past. So it doesn't make any sense to me. But that's what I expect from corporates these days. I don't expect them to be rational. to make sensible decisions. So she told me that, I just said to her, just forget about it, I don't want to bother going any further with this, it's too much of a hassle. So she said, yeah, okay, we'll cancel your request. And then she rang back within a minute. And then went through the ID bullshit that they do. They always check to make sure they got the right person. I just hung up on her, said stuff. And then after that, she rang once more. And again, I hung up. I don't know why she rang back. I mean, what possible reason would there be, considering that that we've cancelled the request? Just bizarre. And the other weird thing is I could hear a baby in the background, so she's working from work. She was working from home, I should say. So, yeah, not very professional, ANZ, when you're on the phone to someone who rings you and they've got a kid in the background, an infant. That is not what I'd call professionalism. But nothing surprises me from a mob like ANZ anyway. I'm not a big fan. Anyway, well, I may end up severing ties totally when I get back, assuming I do go ahead with the trip. Again, probably 70-30 chances are I will go on it, but not with any great enthusiasm right now, because when I was sitting in the passenger seat when Yvonne drove me back from Smithfield, I got twinges of pain just sitting in the car seat. Now I've got to be in an airline seat for 4.5 hours, 5 hours. Not looking forward to that. Anyway, we'll see. Probably about 3:30, starting to cool down a bit. Sun's getting a bit lower in the sky. Pretty quiet here. Tuesday afternoon. Don't even know if there's anybody out swimming. It's very quiet. I saw one guy, like he was actually jogging behind a pram at the sort of jogging pace. So that's a bit unusual, but that's about the only person I've seen on the pathway. Yeah, he's still keeping the pace up with that pram, but he's about the only other person on the path at the moment. Won't be this quiet in a place like Bali. I'll be attacked by a multiple number of hawkers if I go down the beach. It won't be anywhere near as isolated as this. As I say, it's quite remarkable considering Kawara Beach is a population of over 5,000 people. It's a decent sized suburb up here. But only a certain number come down here. A lot of people are working right now. But, you know, it is nice. If it's on a warm day like today, you get a little sea breeze. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great.